Welcome to episode 7 of If Object Show hosts were charged for their crimes, the series where I explore the crimes of various Object Show hosts. Before we begin, I would like to ask you all to subscribe with notifications on, as it would be much appreciated. Round 1. Gamey from Object Overload. The first thing Gamey does is in the very first episode of his show ever. In it, he fires all of the armless contestants out of a cannon that he has. Just like when Control-Y did a similar thing in Brawl of the Objects, this is 12 counts of reckless endangerment. In the same episode, the second part of the challenge that determines team captains is to dodge dodgeballs. Those things hurt. A lot, especially when taken to the face. 14 dodgeballs directly hit contestants in total. Additionally, 6 more dodgeballs were fired at contestants, but either missed, were deflected, or caught, which I will count as 6 counts of attempted assault that did not hit. Finally, near the end, Dusty gets killed by a dodgeball sailing right through his body. In episode 3, when declared safe, Tissue gets hit by the cement block to the face. This is only 1 count of assault because everyone else managed to catch theirs. Meanwhile, the way contestants get eliminated involves being flung, shot out of a cannon, and sent to the cold, cold vacuum of space. After he gets eliminated, Lighter ends up on Prison Planet. It doesn't get more obvious than that. This is definitely forced imprisonment. Object Overload got cancelled after 6 episodes, plus the unfinished one Niall reacted to, making it the 3rd shortest show I've covered so far. So, only 6 counts can be added to the list, given the 1 double elimination. The challenge in episode 3 is to create statues, and I think this could be an OSHA violation, because it would probably be safer to work with some kind of eye protection to protect from the inevitable dust. Yeah, I think that's what I'll charge it as. There aren't any extra crimes in episodes 4 through 6, and Rostrum Rampage essentially seems like a reboot, so I'm not too sure I should count the crimes, especially since they're all the same as the original's episode. I even checked Niall's reaction to the unfinished episode 7, and it was just another elimination-based charge. I guess I'll just do the crime scroll then. Quite a few people recommended to me that I do Gamey next, and I'll be honest, I was kind of let down by how few crimes there were. Anyways, the total sentence for Gamey is a life sentence, 51 years in prison, and a total fine of $89,500. Pretty light compared to other hosts, especially Chocolate Bar and 4. Round 2. Gold Ingot from Paper Puppets and Paper Puppets Take 2. Normally I'd just start with the crimes, but I couldn't have chosen a better time to cover this show, because Paper Puppets turns 10 in just 5 days from when this video goes live. As it turns out, Paper Puppets got its start as, well, Paper Puppets, which has got to be the most unique style I've seen so far. This show, or at least season 1 of it, canonically takes place in Canada, though which province is unknown, as outside of the one that takes place in Ottawa, so sentences will be the Canadian sentence for each crime. Right off the bat, although he doesn't actually put anyone in there in episode 1, Gold Ingot does reveal the White Box of Doom, which is where eliminated contestants will be sent as they get eliminated. Starting from episode 2, 20 end up there throughout season 1, including re-eliminations of rejoiners and debuters. And in Canada, forced imprisonment warrants up to 10 years per charge. Later on, though, there's a pretty steep incline in the severity of crimes committed. In episode 8, a debut is held, and the contestants that fail to debut are torn in two and or put into a fire. Since Gold Ingot commanded Mr. Hand to do it, That means Gold Ingot himself is the one responsible for this mass murder charge, as 12 get killed in total. Unlike forced imprisonment, which is harsher in Canada than in the US, the punishment for mass murder is less severe. Still, thank goodness, I was starting to worry there wasn't much crime in Season 1. Speaking of fire, 5 of the debuters tie, so there has to be a tiebreaker challenge. What is the challenge? To start a fire. Normally this wouldn't be a huge deal, but since they're all made of paper in Season 1, hence the name of the show, this is 5 counts of occupational health and safety violations. Canada's equivalent to an OSHA violation, except that the fine is far, far higher. About 10 times as much to be exact. We have to skip to Season 2 for the next crime. The start of Paper Puppets Take 2 sees a new elimination area, the Dark Pit of Despair. First, the 8 contestants that weren't able to join were put in there. Then, each eliminated contestant also gets put in there except for Ace. 11 of them as of episode 13. Also, we're switching back to US laws, since PPT2 takes place in a different dimension whose laws we don't know. He also kicks the Season 1 contestants that failed to join Season 2 into the pit, literally, which is 8. He gets 2 more counts of assault in episode 3 when, as a response to Loaf asking to read the votes, he kicks him away in a brief fit of rage, and then kicks Gong into the pit of despair. I think I'm gonna call sending 18 contestants into this abandoned building
reckless endangerment.
I mean, loose wires from the ceiling, semi-functional elevators, eldritch abominations roaming the halls. It's pretty clear to me. The monsters don't count as attempted murder though, since Gold Ingot didn't know about them. In episode 8, he kicks off Pan from the cliff, since they're too shocked about being eliminated to jump off on their own. He does get kicked back, but that's irrelevant. As of episode 13, Gold Ingot's final crime is in episode 13. For the seating area for the elimination area at the end of the episode, he gets the parts for it by stealing from the crew that was renovating his office. That cart had some wood, 2 5-gallon buckets of paint, and, one of those things that you lay a board across to saw it. He also gave out a wrench and 2 hammers that probably weren't his to the immune contestants. All of those together, including the flat pack cart, would cost about $660 altogether. Gold Ingot was another host who was recommended a lot, but was kind of a letdown when it came to the number of crimes he committed. The sentence, on the other hand, wasn't as much of a disappointment, as it comes out to a life sentence,
241
years in prison, and a total fine of
$439,315
US dollars. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to catch you all in the next video.